Central Japan is home to many hidden gems, from its historic post towns to the stunning landscape of Japanese Alps and picturesque valleys. Post towns served as boarding and lodging stops for long distance travelers in the Edo period and were built on major routes connecting Edo, that is modern day Tokyo, to other important cities. Connecting Edo and Kyoto, the Nagasendo route, which means the road through the central mountains, was one of the 5 arterial routes that were Japan's network of highways for commerce and transportation. This 540 kilometers long route was traversed by anyone who needed to travel: samurais, feudal lords, merchants, or common people. Passed through 69 picturesque post towns in total throughout its length, where the travelers could take a break from journey, rest, eat, buy supplies, or exchange goods and information. These post towns have gradually developed into modern settlements with changing times, but the classic townscape of a few of them has been restored and preserved and is reminiscent of the Edo period. Their function also stays more or less the same, except that now they cater to modern tourists who visit these post towns to experience the past. Nakatsugawa, located at the foot of Kiso Mountains, was an important post town during the Edo period. Although Nakatsugawa is a well-developed city now, with few remaining traces of its former status as a post town, the city exudes a strong Japanese ambiance. Charming low-rise buildings constitute the cityscape. Also, Nakatsugawa could be considered as a base for a few days to make day trips to the preserved post towns, as a lot of accommodation options and public transport connections are available here. Magomejuku is one of the preserved post towns at about 10 kilometers from Nakatsugawa. A narrow cobblestone street makes its way uphill into the town from the entrance. The street is lined with restored buildings with latticed windows. The residents run businesses like restaurants, souvenir shops, or guest houses, a setting pretty much similar to how the post towns functioned in the Edo period. Visitors have the opportunity to try out local delicacies at the restaurants and takeaway snack counters. The main street runs through the entire length of the town. It is not a very long street, but every turn provides a different and fascinating view. There are a couple of water mills that are still functional. The most interesting thing to do here is to hike the 8 kilometers long section of the original Nakasendo route between two post towns, Magome and Tsumago, which is the next post town on the route. Almost the entire length of the trail goes through forested area with cedar, cypress and maple trees. The trail is a mix of broad walks, paved roads and forest paths. In the fall season, the path is covered with a carpet of autumn foliage. There are a few small farming settlements along the way. Halfway through the trail, there is an old tea house that dates back to mid-Edo period. Visitors are welcome to drop by for a short rest, a cup of tea, and some interesting interaction with the friendly owner. A couple of waterfalls and crystal clear mountain streams make the trail very scenic. Tsumago is one of the smaller but equally picturesque post town in Kiso Valley, which also was a bustling stop for travelers in the Edo period. Just like any other post towns, Tsumago is also a one-street town with restored traditional buildings on both sides. All these buildings are occupied by resident families who run businesses like restaurants, souvenir shops, and guest houses. There are a couple of interesting museums in Tsumago that exhibit the life here in the Edo period. In an effort to maintain the town's traditional ambiance, the local law prohibits cars on the road during certain hours of the day. At about an hour and a half ride from Nakatsugawa, the post town of Naraijuku marked the halfway point on the Nakasendo route. The most striking feature of Naraijuku is the traditional wooden buildings, which at first glance may look like they are straight out of a painting or a movie set of a historical film. The narrow street that runs through the town is lined with these fascinating structures with distinctive overhanging eaves and intricate wooden facade. The architecture is so perfectly retained and the timeless atmosphere is so feelable that the visitors are instantly transported back in time upon entering. Naraijuku has been designated as an important preservation site for traditional buildings by Japanese government. The main street has many interesting shops selling local products, woodwork, and other souvenirs. Lacquered wooden crafts are the speciality of this region, an art that dates back many centuries. Shizume Shrine, at the end of the town, is where the travelers wished for a safe journey and expressed gratitude for safe arrival. Naraijuku is probably one of the most picturesque locations in Japan. The post towns of central Japan, with their historical and architectural charm, offer a unique glimpse into the region's cultural past. Along with the post towns, scenic landscape, dotted with farmlands and small villages, surrounded by lofty mountains, make central Japan a fascinating destination.